another exciting, effective living conversation. I'm your host, Ricardo Miller. My co-host is Minister Carol Crockett. What's going on, lady? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Coach. How are you doing?
Excellent. Man, listen, how do you keep it all together? Because you be going. You
I
be
know.
going.
Hey, a plan, a to-do list,
Yeah.
and nothing but God's grace that keeps me going. So absolutely. But I found that if I got it written down somewhere, Coach, I can make it happen.
Nice. I'm a strong advocate for a to-do list, and so
Yes.
it's a big difference maker in my life as well. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we want to talk about fitness. Tonight, listen, guys, thank you for joining us here on our Effective Living YouTube channel. We love and appreciate you. We know that you could be watching and being involved in a lot of other types of things on YouTube, but you showed up to be a part of what we're talking about today. So if you're watching us today on YouTube, if you're watching us on Facebook, we love and appreciate you. And we thank God for your commitment to staying connected to all things effective living. Now, Minister Carol, tonight we're talking about health and fitness. We're talking more specifically about fitness, why fitness matters. And I wrote this down earlier today, and I thought, oh my goodness, I have to talk about this, and that is your health is your greatest wealth. Let me
Mm-hmm.
say that again, ladies and gentlemen. Your health is your greatest wealth. Without it, watch this, your assets become worthless.
Wow.
And
Mm.
so the truth is, none of us should take our health lightly, but yet people do it all the time. Talk to us, Miss Carol.
Absolutely, Coach. You said our health is our greatest wealth because without any health, if
Yeah,
we think about wealth only as money,
yeah,
but money is no good, Coach, if
yeah.
we don't have our health.
Mm,
There are people in the hospital and they might have plenty of money, but
yeah,
if they're in that hospital and they don't have their health,
yeah,
what good is wealth?
yeah,
Our health dictates to us everything about our lives. It dictates to us about our mental capacity. It dictates our physical capacity. I'm inclined to believe, Coach, that our health is important even in our spiritual growth and
yep,
development.
yep. I agree totally. And that's one of the reasons why people say this term, and you should write it down, keep it somewhere. Health is wealth.
It is.
Okay?
Mhm.
Health as well. Oftentimes, Miss Carol, you know, a lot of people we talk about with effective living is faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. But let me tell you something: your health go awry, your health go downhill. And man, listen, everything else. Even when it comes to faith, you know, well, I believe in God, but I prayed all night last night.
Mhm.
Lord, take this pain away. Lord, you know what I'm saying? Your priorities now becomes even in faith.
Mhm.
Your priorities comes to healing. I need healing. And the truth is, this is a lot of people's reality, and I'm not taking this lightly. All I'm
Mhm.
saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, when you can, you need to. When you can do something to
Mhm.
prevent something,
Mhm.
you should. And so we're going to talk about fitness in regards to doing what you can while you can
Mhm.
so that you can prevent something. That's all we can do. The truth is, somebody called me
Mhm.
earlier today, Miss Carol, and they told
Mhm.
me, well, I knew a vegan and the person died with a heart attack. And he said, well, you know, don't worry about this body. And pretty much that's what's the gist of
Wow.
it. But you got to make sure you're right with God. And I said, that's why with effective living, we talk faith. It starts with faith.
Mhm.
It starts with I didn't get it twisted. I'm not telling people it's all about
No.
health and fitness
Mhm.
only.
Mhm.
Okay? Because we're all going to die. I know that. We're all going to die. Okay?
Mhm.
We're all going to die. But the truth is, there are some preventables. And
Yes.
being a good steward is about preventing what can be prevented. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right, Coach, because the Bible tells us that He wants us, our souls, to prosper, even as our bodies, and so we want to be in good health. And so you can't say that one is not one. You can't eliminate one
Yeah.
or don't do anything with one and then put all of it into another. Faith is one of the most important things that we have. But we know that God, we walk by faith and not by sight. But we have to remember that God want us to be whole in every area of our life. And we cannot be whole if we're just going to put everything and say, well, God's going to take care of it. He gave us mental capacity. He gave us, brains and being able to take care of our mental health. But
Yeah.
he gave us the word. The word is so full of scriptures that talk about our body.
Yeah.
He said this body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So, Coach, if I misuse this body, I'm misusing what God has provided, the vehicle for me to be able to go out, spread his word, if nothing else, but also to be able to have a life. He said we can have some heaven here on earth.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're talking about why fitness matters and that we all can do a little bit better when it comes to health and fitness. You heard me correctly. We all can do a little bit better when it comes. This whole week is Health and Fitness Week. Okay? Take care of your body. It's the only place you got to live. That's what I want you to remember in your head. I got to take care of my body. It's the only place I got to live. Listen, the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. We ought to keep it clean. So physical, regular activity is one of the most important things you can do for your health. What comes with that? Okay? Being physically active can improve your brain health, help you manage your weight, right? Reduce the risk of diseases. Watch it strengthen your bone and your muscle and improve your ability to do every activity. But a lot of people aren't doing their part when it comes to this. And how many of us would want any of those things taken away from us? Let's look at that list for a minute, Miss Carol. How many of us? Listen, your brain health. How many of y'all know that's important? How many of y'all, that's important? How about this? Watch this. Managing your weight. How many of y'all know? I mean, let me tell you something.
That's huge.
Okay, that's right. Watch this. Watch it. Watch this. Reduce the risk of diseases. Watch this. Strengthen bone and muscle. And the older you get, you start feeling them aches, boy. You start feeling them aches. Right? And improve your ability to do the everyday activities. What's your thoughts?
My thought is exactly that. It's so many ways that being physically fit, that we can improve our whole life. Our life, the Lord is the one who's going to add or take away life. But in the meantime, Coach, we have to be good stewards, like you say, of the body that he's given us. And if we begin to, like you say, you talked about strengthen our bones, physical fitness, exercise, some type of exercise helps strengthen our bones, because like you were saying, when you get older, our bones are going to get weaker. But if we are constantly doing some fitness and doing some exercises and managing our weight and doing those things that we need to do to take care of this body, we can strengthen our bones. We can strengthen muscles. Coach, people always say, well, I don't want to get up and exercise. We always think it's got to be something super extraneous or something. But it's those little bitty things. You can chair exercise. You can pick up some weights and begin to do some things. Little bitty things will help strengthen your body and will help your health and help your fitness. Sometimes after January, we all want to start out with a New Year's resolution and run to the gym. But are you going to be consistent with that? Are you going to continue to put a plan in place that you're going to do? Am I going to get up and go lift weights 7 days a week? No, Coach, I'm not going to do that. But little bitty things that we can do that will help our brain. You'd be surprised when we talked about this earlier. You'd be surprised how just a walk around the block will help your mental capacity. It's that the Lord filling your brain with that breath, his breath and the air. It just does something about you. It does something about your brain, but it also, Coach, I think it helps my attitude. What about you? My attitude gets better sometimes.
I totally agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It does help your attitude. The level of energy. That's why I think when it talks about your brain health, Okay, blood flowing through your body. You get a nice brisk run in. You get a nice walk in. I mean, you get you do some jumping jacks, some sit ups, some stretching. It all plays a part, people. It all plays a part. Now, here's what I wanted this week to be. I wanted this week to be a week where I woke up the thought factor of what may have started to go dormant. You started to pull back and not pay attention to. And please, let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Don't neglect your health. Now, here's the deal. A lot of people will be watching this live. They try to rush past it. Oh, Miller talking health. I don't want nobody to talk about health. I don't want nobody to talk about health. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. The Bible says, Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, be not deceived. God's not mocked. What you sow, you're going to reap. And not because you're ignoring it means it's not there. Okay, it's there, it's there, and it's there. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. You should want to take care of your health, because I don't know about you, Miss Carol. Not so long ago, I was in the hospital to go do a procedure just to have some nice checkup on my body. Let me tell you something. It's not one of them places I think anybody signs up any given week to go to in pain, misery, frustration, and the expenses.
Oh my goodness.
And the expenses that comes with that thing. And so some of the things we can do through a lifetime of fitness. Here's the deal. It's costly.
It's costly.
To have things happen to you that could have been prevented. Talk to us.
Coach, you either pay now or you pay later. So it is costly if we choose to ignore the body, if we choose to ignore our health. And, Coach, it's not always just our physical fitness, but also what are we consuming? Yeah. What are we putting into our bodies? I think we talked about this before. Junk in, junk out. All of that has a lot to do with it. I don't know about you, but I can overeat or eat all those Fritos I don't really need to have all the time. But when I eat that, it slows down my body, and it keeps you from being like we're talking about, mentally alert. When you're sluggish, you're slowed down. Your brain is slowing down too, because you're not being able to think and tell your body. Your brain is telling your body and sending that message to your body. But if it can't function, then you're less alert. You're less mentally sharp, and that's what I think I love about the whole thing about fitness. It helps with focus and concentration. When you get older, sometimes you can't concentrate it as well. But when you make a decision to put some type of movement, into your daily routine, I'm telling you, the benefit is almost where we can't even begin to put a price on it. You can't put a price on it, because like I said, if you don't take care of this body now, you will pay later, and you don't want to be in the hospital. Preventive, that's what it's really all about. Doing some preventive things. You don't, just because everybody else is eating fast food every day, that doesn't mean that you have to eat that fast food every day. Just because somebody made a decision like, I don't want to talk about exercise. I think you have to be around people who got the same kind of mentality. You want to be around people that's going to encourage you. And I'm an advocate for group. I love to do group stuff, like walking with friends and exercise, because guess what? When I don't feel like it, they're going to push me. So you have to make a decision that your body is important. When you make that decision, because you talked about those 5 F's, I believe the Lord wants us whole in all 5 areas of that. But if your health bad, that's going to keep me from focusing on my finances. Probably going to have me questioning my faith, because I'm like, Lord, why did you, here we go. Why did you do this to me? But sometimes it's me doing it to myself. So you have to make sure that all 5 of those, finance, fitness, fun, all of those are so important. But that is part of us taking care of our body, because it's not any fun to look out there and see somebody running and I'm laid up in the house because I can't move my body.
Hey, or you're trying to keep up with others, but you're feeling bad. Oh man, you ain't feeling well, but you're trying to keep up. Let me tell you something. That's no fun at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about, for right now, okay? Fitness can, and you got to remember this, fitness, you're engaged, okay? Fitness can reduce massive health problems. Now, the question is, how can you prevent some stuff?
Mhm.
What do you need to do to make sure that, hey, listen, if a little exercise, hey, Miss Carol, a little exercise will prevent this, why not do this?
Right.
Hey, if drinking a little bit of water can prevent something, why not drink a little water? I was talking to my good friend. He's an international brother. We were talking this morning as I was in the gym. And he said, well, watch this, Miss Carol. And a lot of people do this, Miss Carol. And I told him I would use this as an example. He said to me, he said, well, you know, next month I have a physical coming up, so I need to start getting back on taking care of my body. And I said, no, brother, it's a lifestyle.
It is.
It's a lifestyle. Now, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. I said to him, see, if you want to just do 30 days of doing things right, when the doctor goes in to look at you, your sickness may now have hidden itself. It hidden yourself. Now the doctor said, you don't need to come back for another year because you look good. You look good. Because certain things have the ability to hide themselves. And then I watched this, Miss Carol, I said to him, and then you go back next year and the doctor said, what happened? Why did your health deteriorate so much? I said, because what you did was you put up a facade. You set yourself up to pass his test, not the real health test.
That's good right there.
Somebody said, well, you know, I got doctor's appointment next week. I got to stop doing right. Listen, man, if you don't do right with your teeth, let me tell you something. You go to the dentist will tell you, you still got some cavities. Why? You weren't flossing, you weren't brushing, and it'll come up, it'll catch up on you. So talk to our viewing audience, Ms. Carol, what's on your heart? What thought you have there that you think needs to be talked about, need to be remembered, because there are a lot of people who are taking light their health. They know it's important, but they're not making it a priority.
And, you know, Coach, you talked about just doing it temporarily or just doing it to make sure you pass the test of the doctors. But it really must become a lifestyle. It must become something that you feel that there's value in it. Because if you don't see any value in it, you might not would do it. But in the end of the day, you know, we don't want to have heart attacks. You know, exercising helps keep us a lot of times, you know, what they say, blood, and I suffer with that. I work on mine. Blood pressure is one of the silent killers. So we have to make sure that, you know, they'll tell you, reduce your intake of food, get exercise, cholesterol issues, all of those things are there. You know, we do want to lose weight. But there's so many other things that's so significant as well as losing weight. What about the quality of sleep, Coach? It helps us with sleeping, you know, and a lot of times if we're not getting enough rest, that carry over into the rest of our day. That makes us sluggish. That makes us not want to get up and do anything. So it helps with our sleep. It helps with our mental capacity. It helps with us reducing the risk of osteoporosis. It also helps keeps us from having heart attacks. But one other thing, which is really big, it helps us with how to learn how to manage stress. Stress level. We're all busy. Everybody got a lot of, you know, we got difficult people in our life. We got so many things, unexpected things come up. We got so many things that we can look at life and say, sometimes this didn't work out the way I anticipated it or I planned. But when we have a way of relieving that stress and you know, it keeps us from getting in a place that stress is now moving into depression. So it really, exercise helps us. It gets those, I think you talk about that, the endorphins working and helping us to feel good in our bodies. And so that exercise send messages to our brains and send messages to our bodies. But we have to know stress is real. And one of the ways that we can reduce the stress is to start taking care of our health, being physically fit, like you said, drinking that water, getting some type of, I'm an advocate, get some type of moving, get moving. That's the bottom line. You know, you don't have to run a marathon in the beginning, but you ought to get moving. Get your limbs limber, you know, where they're you can be limber with your limbs moving. But if we're sitting up all day long, and you know, because some people have jobs that they sit a lot, and so when do we get up and start moving around? Then if we're not at work, you talk about this binge watching, binge watching TV. So when are we moving? It helps with our hearts to get our bodies moving. So many, we could spend lots of time talking about all of the benefits and the things that fitness and exercise does for us. But it's so, like I said, so many things, but we have to make a decision of how we're going to take our bodies and make them be that temple that God intended for them to be, and know that he wants he wants our health to prosper, even as our soul prosper. So we want to make sure we're doing that. It's just so many things. Any other ones you want to add? Because I got a list of things that it does.
I'm going to let you go back and bring those up in a minute. I want to remind you guys, okay? I want to remind you, you're not a rock.
Right.
You can change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want you to grab a hold of that. So here's the deal. Bad habits have become a part of who we are over time because we feed those bad habits. But here's what I want you to know. A habit can be broken. I have the habit of overeating. I have the habit of binge watching TV. I have the habit of not knowing how to decline an offer for food. Okay, there are a lot of different things people have the habit of. You got to know what's the bad habits that's keeping you in that bad state. Now, for those of you that have been following Effective Living over the past couple of weeks, you know that we've been advertising our upcoming 5K run walk. It's happening on Saturday. It's happening on Saturday. Now, here's the deal. It's not a large 5K run walk. It's not big, but I would love to have 100 people out there. I would love to have 100 Effective Living ambassadors wearing the Effective Living shirt. When you register, you get a shirt. Come on. When you register, you can come out there and say, you know what? I can run or I can walk or I can do a little bit of both. But at the end of the day, start somewhere. Okay? Start somewhere. I love the Lord. Okay? I love the Lord with all my heart. And I believe that God can do things I can't. But I also believe God looks down and he smiles at us when he sees us doing our part. Okay? When you're taking the time to do your part, God say, oh man, let me tell you something. You can't touch that one right there. He has sown enough seed. Hello, somebody, that brings about a level of the return is going to be matched to the seed. That means compound interest is coming my way because I'm going to do my part. Now, here's what else it does. Should you end up in the emergency room, should you end up in the hospital, should you have to go through and deal with a procedure, how many of y'all know if you've been taking care of your health, come on, if you've been taking care of your health, it helps those who have to work on you to work on you.
Yes, it does. It really does.
It helps them to work on you. So here's the deal. Miss Carol, you know what saddens my heart. You know what saddens my heart. And I had to tell myself, Ricardo, don't do this. Whenever there's a financial planning group having a meeting in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I told myself, I don't care which side of town it is, drive across town and get in that financial management session because you are about money. When it comes to socializing, yesterday, I drove an hour and 10 minutes to be a part of a social connection that I thought was very necessary for having community. It was a group of Bahamians here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that had a great social time. We played dominoes. We ate Bahama food. And I mean, it's just Bahamian food. And it was just amazing. Okay. It was great social activities. Then, ladies and gentlemen, then there are times, here's the deal. There's 5K runs, there is half marathons, there is marathons that happens on any given month. And we have access to participate in these things to enrich our lives. So for those of you in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know me and you've been watching us for a while. On Saturday, it'll take about an hour and a half for you to finish if you're walking. It'll take even less than that if you're a speed walker. But if
Mhm.
you're running, you'll be out there for an hour and probably gone. Other than socializing, you'll probably be there longer. Other than that, but here's the deal. I promise you, you won't regret having given yourself some attention in this area. So I want you to say to yourself, I'm not a rock. My bad habits can be broken. My bad habits will be broken. Let me say that again.
Mm.
I'm not a rock. My bad habits can be broken, and my bad habits will be broken. Now, Miss Carol, there's two things the person has to accept. One, that this habit can be broken.
Mhm.
And then the other one is you have to make up in your mind that this habit is going to be broken. What are some other things, Miss Carol, as our viewers are watching that they need to take note of, because we're sounding the alarm. We're sounding the alarm.
Mhm. Coach, if you say you can, you can. But if you say you can't, and you probably won't. So we can take that mindset and begin to change our thinking a little bit at a time. You said that the habit, can be broken, but we have to make a commitment. I believe we have to be committed to change. You're not a rock, as you said. So
Yeah.
are you committed to make a little bit of a change, one step at a time? If they come out for the walk or for the run, the 5, one thing I do know, that we're all in this together, but we may start out together, but we don't have to end, because it is your walk,
Yeah.
it is your run.
Yeah.
But walking, running, any form of fitness, I think it takes commitment, and I think it takes discipline, and we are responsible. It takes, we have to take responsibility for our bodies.
Yeah.
So if I want to leave them with anything, take responsibility. This is the only body you have. You can't get another one. So why not take advantage of it? Start with little bitty things, little bitty habits. One of them is that you can change your mindset. You're not a rock.
Yeah.
I can change. And if I can change, then I believe you have to put something there. What are you going to change? Well, I'm going to change not sitting up watching TV. Or, Coach, like you said, I can choose whether I can eat when I'm hungry
Yeah.
or eat because it's in front of me.
Yeah.
Little bitty things. But I think we have to become aware of those things that are specifically for me,
Yeah.
that I know that I need to change, because my habit may not be yours. But if we are aware of the changes that we need to make, and we make a conscious effort to change little by little, I believe we can. But it starts with us taking that responsibility and making a commitment. And I do believe this, it won't happen overnight. But I think we have, what do we say, Coach? We have to continue to chip away. A
Yeah.
little chipping will end up being something big if you just have that mindset that this is my body.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to do what I can. I'm not going to look at what everybody else is doing. Everybody else may be sitting at home, but I'm going to get up and take care of myself, because I owe it. I owe that to
Wow.
myself. I simply owe having a body that God wants me to. And then one other thing, like you said, around other people. But listen, we can't compare ourselves to anyone else. Get up, and get to moving for yourself. With you, the main person in mind is got to be you, if you're going to start taking fitness seriously and for real. Because listen, it is for real. It is that we have to look at it like, well, when this body is over with and they said I can't breathe anymore, Coach, that's it. I'll have another opportunity. But every day God gives me another day, I got an opportunity to change something that is not really beneficial for me, for my body, and for my whole well-being. God wants us to prosper and be in good health.
So good. So good. Remember this. Okay. Remember this. So the person who says, I don't have time for this.
Mm.
Okay. The person who says, I don't have time for this. You can't afford not to make time for stuff like this. Okay, you can't afford not to make time. See, effective living is all about management, and you got to manage your health.
Mhm.
Okay, you got to manage your body. You got to understand that you have an assignment in the earth that God has placed you here for. And should you be here for another 40 years, another 30 years, another 20 years, another 10 years, you want to know that you were a good steward. You want to know that you did your part when it came to you managing your body. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go to my website, ricardomiller.com, go to the store and register for the run. Okay. Now it's ricardomiller.com and it's only $24.95. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I sell my shirts for $24.95. So pretty much you're just getting the shirt. But it's also a fundraiser. We're actually going to be doing a contribution to a program in the Bahamas. When I go to Bahamas next, I'm carrying care packets because I want to be a blessing. And so we're going to make sure that contribution, the fund that's coming from this, we're saying we're going to the Bahamas to be a blessing because that's where I started. Okay, that's where I started. And I want to give back. And so you're going to be able to help us give back. But also you get a chance to go ahead and work out. You get a chance to fellowship with other like-minded people, positive energy. It's going to be so good. Music is going to be lit. The energy out there is going to be off the charts. It's a really nice, cool park. I mean, the walk trail there is pretty neat. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. You have the time on Saturday. Now you need to choose to commit to showing up. Okay? Showing up. Do me a favor and show up. Go to the website and register today. Support the idea of, one, taking care of your body, but two, giving back. This is a good time for you to say, hey, what Ricardo does in the Bahamas, I want to help the mission that he is about to endeavor to put together to help those young men in the Bahamas that he's going to be giving gifts to later in the months to come. And so God bless you guys. I'm so grateful for those of you that are being registering already. And here's the deal. Miss Carol, you got your shirt already.
Got my shirt, need my visor, left my visor, but I got it.
You're going to get your visor. Here's the deal. When you register today, you can come on out there. The walk starts at 7:30. Okay, it starts at 7:30, and we're projecting that by 9 o'clock we will be done. So you get a chance to get back home, do what you got to do. If you want to just chill out on your Saturday after a nice brisk walk like this, I promise you will even enjoy it. Then some of us will go have breakfast. Some of us will go do our chores. Whatever you got to do on Saturday, start it off with us. Okay, some of you are intercessors. You like to pray. Come and pray walk.
Pray.
Okay? Pray and walk. Some of you need to get away from the hustle and bustle of everything. Use this time to clear your head. Don't walk in the group. Walk by yourself just to clear your head. Then some of you need to spend some time with your friends. Call some girlfriends out and say, hey, let's do this walk together. Okay, so do me a favor and tell me you're bringing your crew in the comment section. Miller, I'm bringing the crew. I'm bringing my people. Okay, if everybody bring their people, you will help me to meet a major goal. My goal this year is to hit 100. Will you help me do that? I would love it to hit 100 participants at this year's 5K run walk. Hope to see you on Saturday. Miss Carol, challenge them one more time.
One more time. Get up, get moving, but a great place to start is to come out and be at the walk with us. And Coach, you didn't say this one thing that I always love at the walk. We are going to be having fun, but we're going to be making some new friends. And that's the great thing. So come out. And if you've never walked, this is a great place to start because you walk at your own pace. But if you have so many other ways, like you say, you can pray, you can walk alone, you can walk and talk, you can just do so many things. And remember, health is wealth. And without this body, we're not going to be beneficial in anything that we do. So we want to come out and support a cause. Like you said, Coach, you're giving back. I love that not only are we going to come out and have a great time and then get active, and you're going to be sending money and proceeds back to the Bahamas. And so that's, to me, like a two thing that we're going to get. We're going to get some fun. We're going to get some fellowship. That's 3. And then we're going to be able to support a cause that your heart is so dear to.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys. See you on Saturday morning at 7:30. Don't forget, bring the crew. Let's do this together. Have a great evening, everyone. Good night.